Hello everyone, it's James and welcome to a review of Uncut Gems. This is the latest film from the Safdie brothers, who also made Good Time, which I thought was excellent. It's basically a heist movie on acid. It's great to see two filmmakers who know what they're doing and actually care about making good original films, especially now that they're getting all this attention on Netflix and online. That being said, Uncut Gems is probably their most ambitious film yet. It tells the story of Howard Ratner, a New York jeweler who is in a lot of debt to some very dangerous people. When he comes across a rare gem from Ethiopia, Howard thinks he has a way out. However, over the course of a few days, he makes a series of terrible decisions, sending him on a downward spiral that only makes his situation worse. There's a lot to like about Uncut Gems. It's extremely well made. All the acting is great for the most part. Their style isn't in this as much as Good Time, but you can definitely tell it's one of their movies. In Good Time, you have these really tight and up close shots that work so well, whereas Uncut Gems uses a lot more wide angles and isn't as claustrophobic. I mean, it's kind of a shame. They probably did it to appeal to a bigger audience, which is fine because it means more people are watching A24 films, and if you don't know what A24 is, you've been living under a rock, because they're the best film company working at the moment. They make great films, films that are aimed at pretentious people like me who like to spread their film knowledge with everyone, and it seems fitting that the Safdie brothers also have films in the A24 catalogue because they seem like film nerds as well.
Jesus, Benny, this is embarrassing. I can't leave with that.
Put it in the bag.
Benny, look at my bag.
Here. Don't put it in my bag.
Why? Look at my bag.
All right. Put them in a different.
We're gonna put back most of the stuff. This is just for the sake of the video.
The story is a lot more complex than Good Time. The film starts out in 2010 Ethiopia, where we're introduced to the gem, and then after a really bizarre title sequence, the film jumps to 2012, where Howard receives the jewel and lends it to Kevin Garnett. Yeah, that's right, the basketball player Kevin Garnett is in this thing. I don't know who he is, but he's pretty good. Then Howard loses the gem and spends the rest of the film trying to find it to pay off his debts. Obviously, as well as the stuff with the gem, you have the storyline with Howard's family and the divorce with his wife, also the stuff with Julia, his girlfriend. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on in this film, yet they manage to fit it all together in a way that works with the story and doesn't slow the film down at any point. Apparently the script took 10 years to write, and it's clear to see why. This movie is filled with dialogue, and in a lot of scenes there's more than one conversation going on at once. In a way, everyone's just shouting at each other all the time, but it does work with the fast pace and building tension. Also, it does make it hard to follow the story at times, and it did take me a while to get used to. The script feels very improvised and natural. People speak how they normally would in real life. I always like that in movies. You can tell they put a lot of thought into the script, and it's amazing it turned out this good.
Very early on in the script process, there was this gargantuan section of the script that sometimes, I think in its one iteration, was 30-page sequence. And it was the sequence where you introduce Kevin Garnett in the movie. And there's a lot of characters inside the showroom. And it kind of vacillated between how many speaking characters there were. And then we simplified it over time. And what you see in the movie is the most simplified version, which, if you've seen the movie, you'll know it's not a simple scene at all. There's a lot going on.
This film has been described as a feature-length panic attack. It's basically like a 2-hour version of the ending to Silence of the Lambs. So yeah, I would say that's some pretty intense shit. Especially the last act, which kept me on edge the whole time and is extremely satisfying. The main reason why it's so fast-paced and exciting to watch is because of the Safdie brothers' style. They use a lot of fast editing with quick cuts. They really like to drag scenes out and build up the tension, like the scene in Howard's store towards the end. I love the use of colour in their films as well, especially in Good Time. Also, the story lends itself to this intense style that they have, because Adam Sandler is always up against the clock. He's given a deadline to pay off the money, and every time he has the choice to make a situation better, he does the complete opposite. It's really exciting to watch him take all these risks as time is slowly running out, because you never know what will happen to him. You could say he's just stupid, because ultimately he's gotten himself into this mess, but but then we wouldn't have a movie, and that would be sad. The music and soundscape makes the film so much more effective. The music is done by the same guy who did Good Time. I'm not gonna bother pronouncing his name. Now, the music in this doesn't have a main theme that you'll be humming along to. Not that you'll be doing that anyway, because that's just weird. Instead, you get these rich electronic sounds, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it.
We were inventing this musical language for the film. I still to this day can't tell you what the score sounds like, because it's like all of these rich, epic, beautiful things that make sense from moment to moment, and we ended up making something I think is really original.
Sometimes the music can be a bit too much, especially with all the background sounds and dialogue. It feels like your ears are getting damaged. That being said, it creates a really immersive experience, and if you've got a good pair of headphones, like I have, then you're in for something special, let me tell you. Okay, so these are the Grado SR80Es, the headphones that I use every day, whether that be for listening to music, or editing a video, or watching morgues in my spare time. What really separates them from your other headphones, your Beats, your Sonys, your Sennheisers, is the fact that they are open back, which basically means that sound passes through them. Now, of course, this causes sound leakage, which isn't great for certain situations. However, what it is great for is watching movies. The headphones create a wide soundscape that really immerses you in the movie watching experience. The headphones do make you look like a dickhead, bear that in mind, but who cares about that when the sound quality is this good? Grado aren't sponsoring me, I just put this segment in here because I thought it'd be kinda cool. And if you do want to check out these headphones, then there'll be a link in the description. And Grado, if you are watching this, please sponsor me. I love your products. Much like Good Time, the main character in this is basically a massive prick who has no redeeming qualities. He uses money he owes people to make crazy bets. He's very selfish towards his wife and family. The only thing that makes him likable is the fact he's played by Adam Sandler, so it is very hard to sympathize with this character. However, by the end of the film, you do start to root for him more after he realizes the situation he's in. Now, Adam Sandler is well known for being in some of the worst films ever. His company, Happy Madison, is basically a gold mine of shitty comedies. Some of my favourite examples are Jack and Jill, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, and probably the worst film on here, Grown Ups. You may be thinking, James, why do you hate Adam Sandler so much? He's so funny. It's not that I don't like him, he seems like a great guy, it's just the films he chooses to be in and the material he has to work with is so bad that you can't help but not take him seriously. Now, some people like Adam Sandler's style of comedy, and that's fine, do what you want, but slapstick isn't my thing. So yeah, I do find him kind of annoying, but at the same time, when he's given an excellent script and has great direction like Uncut Gems, he's really good, and I would consider this his best performance. This isn't the first time he's been in something like this either. In 2002, he was in Punch Drunk Love. I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things. His character must have been very hard to play as well. Like I mentioned before, the script is full of dialogue which doesn't help, but also he has to be very aggressive and loud all the time.
There's no one who works more like a maniac than this guy, and it's unbelievable. And it was nice because we experienced that in our own lives. We just want to work, and you know he pushed and pushed and pushed. You know, wanting to get to know every little moment. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why am I looking over here? And it was incredible because it really makes you focus on every microscopic thing that we already are doing, but it's nice to have a collaborator who's doing that completely.
And Howard never stops talking virtually the entire.
Yes, you're
I mean,
right.
this is probably
You're
more
right.
dialogue than you've ever.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and people don't think about that, but that's like a real thing. Like you have to
So-
like fill your brain with a lot of text.
These guys always used to say about Howard, he just dominates a room. Comes in a room and takes over, and just no matter what's happening, it's like, all right, I'm going to run the show right now.
There are some really interesting casting choices in this. You have Indina Menzel, who sang that one song, I forgot what it's called. She plays Howard's wife, and she's pretty good considering all she has to do is be annoyed at Adam Sandler. You have Kevin Garnett, a retired basketball player who is surprisingly great. When he's looking at the gem, it doesn't come across as forced or cheesy. It's actually very convincing, even if it is so bizarre and kind of dumb. Then there's Howard's girlfriend Julia, who, believe it or not, is played by Julia Fox. Honestly, one of the best performances in this film, and this is her first role ever. There's a great scene towards the end with her and Adam Sandler, who at this point kind of breaks down and is so overwhelmed by what's happened to him. It's really emotional, and it's one of my favourite scenes in the film. By far, the best actor in this is obviously The Weeknd, because that's right, The Weeknd is in this film somehow. I love how one of the major plot points involves Adam Sandler and The Weeknd having a fight. Isn't that just the best thing ever? There are a lot more characters than that, but they aren't as important. Kevin Garnett's friend, played by this guy, is great. It's refreshing to see all these new actors and famous actors coming together in a movie like this. Not only does it help them get recognized, but also it makes the movie stand out more. As for things I didn't like, I wasn't so keen on the storyline with Howard's family. It makes sense to have it in there, it's just not as interesting as the rest of the film. The bad guys aren't very developed. Of course, this film mainly focuses on Adam Sandler, so it didn't bother me too much. It would have been nice to see more realistic villains though. Some of the acting could have been improved maybe. Apart from that, I don't have any problems with it, unless you count the fact that I had a headache and anxiety after watching it. Nevertheless, Uncut Gems is an extremely well made thriller and a big step up from their last film Good Time, which at the moment I do prefer more. That being said, Uncut Gems has gained them a lot of attention, so hopefully we get more movies like it in the future. Obviously their films aren't for everyone. I wouldn't recommend this for a Saturday night relaxing time with the family. If you are like me and actually like this type of shit, then go ahead, check it out. Make sure you have some aspirin on standby though. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video guys. I had a lot of fun making it. Be sure to like and subscribe for more reviews like this, and as always, I will see you in the next one.